Hello everyone. We have today with us Anubhav Srivastav. Professionally, he's a multi-asset investment manager, an advisor to the regulators, speaker, writer, columnist. But the most interesting part of his profile is that he's a kombucha wala as well. So while we get to decode what is kombucha and why is it good for your health, here's a question for you, Anubhav. Tell us a little more about kombucha, its evolution, why is it important for everyone's health, and why should it be a part of our daily routine diet?
Hi, thank you for this question. This is one of the most important revivals that we've seen in recent times. So, kombucha effectively came about from China, where an emperor was unwell. So, somebody made him a drink, a fermented tea drink, and therefore the name kombucha is the name of the inventor of that drink, and the other part is simply means a fermented beverage. So what we're talking about is that, and that's since gone to Europe, and then it's come to India along with the advent of tea, but it has seen a modern day revival, primarily because in India, as in it is in the world, we all need to replenish our gut biome. That is the symbiotic bacteria that reside in our body. And they are responsible for everything from immunity to blood sugar levels to moods and therefore general health.
Okay, so that's interesting. And for all those who did not know about kombucha, you may want to replay that part because it's important to understand the history and how it's been a part of the culture in Asia as well as how it's picking up now in India. So Anubhav, tell us, what is kombucha really in terms of what goes into making it, the flavors that you have experimented and you like, and also the fact that you now actually make kombucha yourself, and it's probably available to your network of friends and family. You called it Asava, so tell us a little more about that as well.
All right, so let's talk about what is kombucha. So kombucha has three components. One is sugar. We typically use organic brown unrefined sugar, so it is sulfurless. The second component is organic tea. You can use black or green tea. We use black. That comes out of organic black tea that is coming out of the Nilgiris. And the third most important bit is Scooby. Scooby is essentially the symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, literally the short form of that, which is what ferments the sugar tea and gives you what you know as kombucha. The entire process takes about 3 weeks, and then your kombucha is ready. Simple enough, but not quite, because after the sugar is gone from the tea, it's basically tasteless. What we do is we add fruit flavors and vegetable flavors, everything from pomegranate to pineapple to beetroot to grapes in different combinations to give you a flavorful drink. The reason for that is not just to improve the taste or to improve the fizziness, but the idea is to add nutrition to the nutrition both for you as well as your gut biome, essentially the bacteria that you're consuming with the kombucha. So what you have therefore is a wholesome, therapeutic, tasty, and a wonderful drink for you to have every day to improve your overall well-being.
All right, so tell us more about Asava.
Oh, Asava. Okay, so Asava is interesting. So what is Asava? Asava is basically means a fermented drink. It's a concept that is used in Ayurveda, and the word is coming from Sanskrit. So this is not something that is purely from China or that was unknown to us. It's been enshrined in our traditional medicine system for a very, very long time. We are just giving it a modern twist and sending it to your homes and to my home.
Having tasted kombucha myself, and from retail stores that I have visited to even farmers market, and I understand that homemade kombuchas are very unique and different and more authentic than the ones produced in the factory. So would homemade kombucha also carry any kind of preservatives, or why is homemade kombucha more beneficial than factory made ones?
All right, so all kombucha is live, and by live it means that it's constantly fermenting, and at some point in time it will die, or it will get converted into something that is not really that palatable. For example, if you ferment grapes, grapes will turn into wine, and at some point in time that wine will turn into vinegar, and they'll just go off. And the reason for that is that there is a life cycle involved for all the organisms that are there inside it. Now, when you have something that gives you a shelf life of 6 months or 7 months or 10 months or something like that, then that drink is probably not that great. Because if it's not changing, that means that organisms inside it are live. The only way where organisms can remain dormant is if they are under very, very low temperature conditions, which is not the case. So home brewed kombucha will have a very short shelf life, 7 to 10 days. If you put it in the refrigerator, it will last to maximum a month, but you should ideally consume it within 15 days tops. After that, it will start to form new SCOBY and may not be as good for you or as tasty.
All right. So this is good information, and I'm sure it'll help the viewers understand more about kombucha and your brand Asava. One more question, and I probably think it's the second last one, is that why would you have kombucha if you are absolutely all right? Because I understand that sometimes kombucha is like you mentioned about it in the history, that it was used by somebody who was unwell, and then he got better in health. So what ailments does it cure or prevent for people like you and me to actually consume it on a daily basis?
Great question. So let's start from a quick concept which I mentioned earlier. You have something called the oral and the gut biome, which is the symbiotic bacteria that resides within us, which prevents nasty things from happening to us, right? And so you need to not just take care of your own nutrition, you need to take care of their nutrition and well-being as well, because that's what controls your serotonin production, which is then responsible for dopamine and other things that implement so that change your mood. Now, if these bacteria are harmed in any way, is when you don't feel good. Typically, the kind of feeling that you get after you've had a course of antibiotics. Now, because you have so much preservative in your food right now, the packaged food that you eat, the pesticides, fertilizers, etc., that are going into our normal, food consumption, fruits, vegetables, and so on, nobody really is actually able to do a complete organic diet right now. Now, all of those things are constantly wiping out your gut bacteria, and therefore you need to replenish your gut bacteria. What kombucha does, much like kefir and other probiotics, is it replenishes your gut bacteria. Those gut bacteria are responsible for your overall well-being. That is why it is important to consume kombucha literally on a daily basis. One shot, one glass, anything that you can do is good for you.
Right. That's interesting, and I think I'm going to be placing my order after we get done with this interview. But tell us, Anubhav, that can viewers watching this video place an order by writing into you on the comment section on YouTube, or how else should they contact you?
So we are very local. The reason is that our product we do not recommend a longer shelf life. We're available to ship in Bangalore or around Devnar or in the city of Mumbai. Anybody that's in these two places can write to us, and we'd be happy to send you some.
Okay, great. Thank you, Anubhav. That was an interesting conversation, and we look forward to the next video, which will actually focus on how do you go about making carrot and beetroot kombucha, or any other flavor that you think you'll be ready to show us next week, same time.
You're most welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Anubhav.